Okay, so congratulations, you got through inspection. As we talked about, that's can be its own beast of its own, and that has plenty of pitfalls. But you're through inspection. Okay, now what? We're not quite to closing, so this is what you can expect between inspection resolution
and
and closing.
and the closing, right? So the very first thing that you're going to want to make sure is that you keep that inspection resolution handy, because that is going to be your guide. You're going to need to know what items did you agree to fix,
Yeah.
and get those corrected, fixed, cleaned, whatever the case may be, and keep those receipts or those invoices, put them together, and make sure you email those off to us.
Yeah. So, just because we came to resolution and we agreed, well, now sometimes that could just be one thing, sometimes it could be a
A
whole
list.
roof replacement and all sorts of other things. So,
Right.
depending on what that resolution looks like, the work is not over yet. Now it's a matter of getting those tasks completed, saving those receipts, saving those invoices. We're going to need those.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to need those, but especially the buyer
Is
and
gonna need
title
those.
company is going to want to see
Right.
that the whole paper trail, that's a whole legit thing.
Yeah. So those are the real important pieces to finalize really the inspection period. Um, then what happens next, Ben?
Well, the next big thing is the appraisal.
Appraisal.
Now, a lot of people have heard that term and they might have an understanding about what that is, but real quickly, let's just explain what the appraisal is and why it matters.
Right. Okay. So an appraisal is a licensed and insured third party, disinterested third party that the buyer's lender hires to come out and look at your home and make sure that the value is truly there. So we want to make sure that the home is prepped when he or she gets there for a showing. We want it to be clean, we want it to be bright, we want it to be the windows, the blinds open. We want the animals to be, in the crate if you have them or with you. Yes, you can be there for the appraisal. That is perfectly acceptable. But if you're not home, that's okay. They will have access through the lockbox.
Yeah, it's not quite as important as when you were showing the house to buyers, but it is a very important
Right.
time. So you can imagine the Smith family that you're currently under contract with is going to buy your house for, let's just say, $700,000, whatever the case might be. Well, the Smith family, they don't have $700,000. They're having a lender loan them the money. Well, before that happens, the lender is going to hire an appraiser to go out and to find out if your home is in fact worth the amount that we've agreed upon. Just because we've agreed upon that and we've found a buyer and we're under contract,
Right.
doesn't quite mean it's all finalized and it's all ready to go. So this is an important part.
Right. And so the appraiser is the final word in the valuation of the home.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the easiest way to explain it. You can be present. If you have pets, they're fine to be there with you. You don't have to take the day off and go home to let them in if you don't have pets, whatever the case may be. And appraisers are licensed and insured. So again, it's not going to be, yes, it's a stranger, but it's not going to be somebody who is not holding a license. So if something does get damaged,
Yeah.
you're covered.
Now, will it take as long as the inspection did? Because they were there probably 3 or 4 hours.
Right? Yeah, no, absolutely not. A typical appraiser will be inside the home somewhere between 15 to 30 minutes, depending upon the size of the home. They're basically mapping out the entire house, kind of what we've already done for the listing, but they'll do it on their sheets.
And they're just finalizing the valuation of the home.
Right.
Okay. Aside from the appraiser happening, what else can they expect and how else should they be preparing as we leading up to the next couple of weeks before closing?
Exactly. So now is a great time to get movers hired. Maybe even a little earlier might have been better, but to have them hired and we know the closing day and we know what the possession day is. So we want to make sure that you are out before the possession date.
Yeah.
That is super important. But you can go ahead and start packing, or if you're hiring a company that's going to come and pack you, just make sure that they've come out to the house and they've given you the proper amount of time to get it packed.
Yeah. Now, during this packing season, it's really important that you're aware of what you've already agreed upon in the contract as far as what's included with the house and what's excluded from the house. This can be a problem if you're not aware.
Right. If you're just blasting through everything and you start packing things and you didn't remember that you agreed, oh yeah, that particular TV or that whatever item was to be included, you got to make sure it's there for the inclusion.
Yeah, a few things that we've run into before that have been problems. Window coverings is a big thing. You know, the curtains and the hardware, the blinds. Depending on the contract and what was agreed upon, that's gonna be your guide. So you can't get creative at the end and change your mind and actually I do want those curtains.
Yep.
It depends on the contract, so please be aware of that. What else have you run into, Brandon?
So we've run into a couple of really big items here where they will substitute out the refrigerator, the $4,000 refrigerator in the kitchen for the $200 one that was in the garage.
Yeah.
And they'll move that in and think that, oh, well, it just said refrigerator. Well, it was the refrigerator that was in the house at the time of contract.
Yeah, this could cause problems. So please don't get creative or sneaky or change your mind. It doesn't work that way.
No. The other thing that you want to make sure that you're doing, though, during this time period is also watching your email. And this is really important because the title company is going to be sending over multiple different times. They're going to be sending over things that they need from you. Plus, they're going to provide you with an item that you're going to want us to go through together.
Yeah.
So here's what I mean. They're first going to start off with a seller information sheet. Now, this information sheet, the first one that they send out typically is just who's on title. So if it's just you by yourself, it'll be just you having to fill this one out. If it's you and your partner, you both will have to fill it out. Date of birth, driver's license numbers, that sort of thing. HOA information. So it's pretty basic, and it's things that, well, ultimately we could probably get for them. The second form, though, that they're going to send out to you is much more in-depth. This is going to be the one that has your social security number on it, your loan or loan numbers on it, depending upon how many mortgages you have, or if you have solar on your house. The UCC1 will be attached to this one as well. Yeah. So they're going to need a lot of in-depth information. So you're going to want to make sure that you have that information handy. When the email comes in, you'll be able to fill that out and send it back to the title company through the secure portal.
Yeah. So again, if it helps, look at the title company as a referee of sorts. They want to verify all the details. They want to make sure the transfer of ownership is legitimized. And so, yeah, they're going to be asking for details. If you're ever like unsure about, is this a valid email? I'm not sure. You could reach out to us, or probably best is to reach out directly to the title company, call them and verify. A lot of times it might even be easier just to call them directly, and you might, depending on the form or the information they need, just convey that right over the phone.
Exactly.
If that helps.
The other thing that they're going to prepare for us is a estimated, actually not even an estimated at this point, it is going to be the final figures. It's going to be your settlement statement. And you're going to want to go through that. We're going to want to go through that with you over the phone or in person for sure. So the reason why we're going to go through that is we're going to talk about everything that's a debit and everything that is a credit to you and tell you what your figure is down here at the bottom. See how close we came to the beginning of time. Because we like to do a seller estimated sheet right up front, and then we like to see what it looks like at the end and see how close we can
get. Because those numbers that we talk about in the beginning, man, there's a lot that can happen between the beginning and this point in the process. It could be 30 days, it could be 130 days. And depending on inspection and how that kind of second negotiation went, there's a lot of variables at play, and it's going to be different at this point. And so this is that point in the process in which title is going to give us that settlement sheet, that settlement form, to give you an idea, to let you know this is how the numbers will look like in a few days, in a week or so, when it comes time for
us
the
to
actual
sign.
closing
Yeah.
process.
So, just a quick reminder and a recap of what we just talked about in this video. Inspection resolution items and the receipts. Make sure that you get the work done first and have receipts for everything that was agreed to. Next thing is the appraisal. Make sure that you prep the home for the appraiser. We want the appraiser to see the home in as good a condition as it was when you were showing, right? Third thing is talking about packing and moving, going through and making sure that you didn't pack something that was supposed to be included.
Yeah.
Don't get tricky. And then the last thing is just making sure that you're checking your emails on a regular basis still for information.
Yeah. That's about it. There's a lot that happens during this time. This is when it gets really real, if it isn't already. So still a lot of things to do. Be diligent during this time, and look for the next video on what to expect when it comes to the actual closing day.